What's up, Sideline Society? Welcome back for another one. I'm Rich.
I'm Quill.
And we're here with the AFC West this week. Please like, comment, subscribe. And before we get into it, I always forget about our secondary subject. I never announce it at the beginning of the episode. We're also doing our all-time defenses this week.
We are.
Going player by player. So that'll be fun. Stick around for that, guys. But without further ado, let's get into it. We've got the AFC West. The Chiefs 15-2, Chargers 11-6, Broncos 10-7, and then we've got the Raiders 4-13. Now, the Chiefs, they went 15-2. They were probably one of the worst 15-2 teams I've ever seen. I don't know if
I would say definitely.
People hated on them a lot. They forced 385 points. They allowed 326 points. The Chargers 402 points forced, allowed 301. Broncos 425 forced, allowed 311. The Raiders 309 and allowed 431. Mm-hmm. But getting into it, guys, the Chiefs. Let's talk about it. They're back. Travis Kelce's coming. Xavier Worthy, he'll be out of legal trouble by then. Is Mahomes still the best quarterback in the NFL? Let's just start right there because there already seems to be murmurings. I'm sure you've seen at least one or two things recently.
Sure. I don't know if he is. I mean,
I've said it. I like Josh Allen.
I'll say. I guess we'll see if he comes back with like a chip on his shoulder next season. But right now, I would say Josh Allen is definitely better. And to be honest with you, you might even be able to give it to Lamar with him.
You think Lamar even?
Maybe. Once again, I mean, it's kind of up to start shitting on Patrick Mahomes after one.
No,
season. And it wasn't even bad.
I mean, I feel like the problem with him is he's had two, not even just this past season, but the season before was slightly not like all world, not, that elite level season. So he's had two seasons where, like, whether or not they were bad seasons, but when you were talking about Patrick Mahomes,
you expect greatness.
A good season isn't good enough.
No. I mean, he had 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He threw for 3,928 yards.
Yeah.
His rating was 93.51. So, I mean, that's not terrible. But honestly, obviously, I don't have the stats pulled up in front of me. But no. I feel like that's not that much better than Aaron Rodgers. I feel like he was close to that.
And that's what I'm saying. And again, I'm not going to get back to the Rodgers topic, but for real, is Rodgers like that bad of an option? Everybody wants to hate on him. And I know we've talked about it, and I've talked to you about it several times. It's like we have this image of him from the first half of the season when he was coming from a catastrophic Achilles injury. A year removed from playing football, really a year and a half if you count the previous offseason and you minus the preseason and the 5 plays or whatever he played.
Yeah.
So he basically had a year and a half, almost 2 years away from football.
He did.
I mean, I'm telling you, you separate first half from second half of the season, Rodgers did not.
He did. No, he actually did decent. His numbers were not terrible at all.
Getting back to the Chiefs, though, I don't really, man, it's so hard to, should have been a little more prepared, guys. I know. The Chiefs are just, let's get into it. Kelsey's not going to do it. McDuffie's a guy. Their defense is seeming pretty young. Is it good enough? It wasn't good enough against the
Eagles.
No.
I'm pretty sure they lost Reed too at safety. I think he's out.
Yeah.
So they'll have to account for that.
It just shocks me that Travis Kelce led the team with 823 yards receiving, and we feel like he's falling off. He is fall off for him, but
sure. It's the same thing with Patty though. It's not like he had a bad season. It's just when you think about him, you expect more.
Man, they got to get a run game going, dude. I mean, Kareem Hunt was their leading rusher last year. I mean, 3.6. Yeah, it's just.
I mean, Pachenko was good.
Their big play offense isn't even that big. I mean, I'm looking at their averages. Kelsey averages 8 yards a catch. Worthy's averaging 10 yards a catch.
Yeah, which is rough. You would expect more out of someone like Worthy just because of how fast he is.
Exactly.
You would expect him to be more of a big play type threat, but.
I would absolutely expect them to be. I mean, obviously signing Chris Jones back the way they did, it seemed like he was going to sit out last offseason, but he's back. He's good. So let's just break it down. Have they plateaued?
I kind of think you're right. I feel like Patty Mahomes is going to definitely come back with a chip on his shoulder, so they might be an issue next year. Which, I mean, there'll always be an issue with Patty Mahomes and
Andy Reid.
Coaching them for sure. But the thing is, they really, like I said, they got to figure out the run, definitely. And obviously, they got to work on the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I have to sit here and think to myself, what do they got? They got the 31st pick.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things where it's like, where are they improving? We've said it several times. The draft is weak.
It is.
At that point, who are you getting that you think is going to be a real big splash as a rookie? I mean, maybe you get a solid starter. Maybe you get a serviceable backup guy. I don't know, but
I mean, you have to get like I said. I believe the Chiefs got to go either offensive line or maybe receiver, just because.
You think Pacheco's coming back to full health, or do you think it's worth drafting a running back, or do you bank Pacheco's coming back?
Well, I would bank on Pacheco coming back because he did come back and he played all right at the end of the season, I believe.
Right.
But, I mean, because, like, who would you pick up in the draft at running back that would be worth it more than an offensive line dude? Because clearly that's what exposed them hard in the Super Bowl was offensive line. So if I was them, I would go offensive line. Maybe you could pick up, like, Kevin Banks Jr. I mean, he'd have to maybe fall a tiny bit to get to the 31st spot, but, I mean, it's possible, once again, depending on how quarterbacks and stuff go.
Yeah, that's a good point. I am trying to think of something here that would...
The only thing they can do to push themselves even farther, which, once again, I mean, it's kind of hard.
I mean, they were right there, so...
And they were, 15-2 or whatever. Which
yeah.
You can't get much better than that without, having a perfect season.
No, you can't.
So... And, I mean, they just crumbled it in the Super Bowl. They got there. The only thing that they can do is, like I said, you bolster the offensive line. And maybe... I mean, if you bet that Pacheco will stay healthy, obviously you got to work on the run game if he doesn't. Sure.
Yeah, I question him as a running back, to be honest. I know a lot of people like him. They think he runs hard and this and that.
He does, but... The thing
he's not a very big guy, though, is he? I mean, he's not... Yeah, he's not, like, known as, like, this... bigger than freaking big, 5'10", 216.
Yeah, no.
I mean, that's big enough. I mean, I don't know. Barry Sanders was only 5'8". So.
He's pretty fast, though. He's decent.
No, yeah. He's all right. I just wonder if he's really worth the idea that you're going to bank on him. What, he broke a leg, right? Last year or something?
Something crazy like that.
Yeah, and then Kareem Hunt, while he was nice, you're not looking at him as being your
main guy.
No.
Sure not.
So
Kareem Hunt is a solid backup running back.
Yeah.
But I would not want him as my starter.
No, I wouldn't either. I'm going to say it, though. I wonder if the Chiefs come on like a revenge tour next year, but honestly, I don't know if they do. I believe in Mahomes enough. I think there's going to be something to prove this year, and this might be the first time in since he first took over as a starter that he feels like maybe he has something he's got to prove.
I mean, there is something to be said about losing in a big way. It does suck, but
yeah,
if you have the right mentality, especially if you're used to winning, like obviously the Chiefs have been, there's something for losing that can possibly push you to be better. So, I mean, we'll see.
No, absolutely. Like I've said, I know this is his second Super Bowl loss, but his first one
was to Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. And I'm not saying that makes it better, but I feel like on some psychological level, if you're gonna lose a Super Bowl and you lose it to Tom Brady, you're maybe not like okay with that, but somewhere in your mind, you're like, it's Tom fucking Brady.
So what? I mean, what can I do?
Yeah, it's Tom fucking Brady.
And also, I mean, the way they lost,
they just got the shit beat out of them. Yeah, Mahomes did not look good at all.
My man got picked off by the white boy. Pick six.
Cooper Deshaun or Dejane or whatever. Yeah,
that's rough one.
Well, I mean, getting to it, I got their schedule right here. Let's go ahead and run through it. Starting off, Buffalo and Dallas.
Buffalo's gonna be a great game. That one's hard.
I think Buffalo's gonna beat them.
Yeah.
I think Dallas is gonna beat them.
Really?
0-2.
0-2 already. All right.
Question marks everywhere.
Mark. Who knows? They'll beat
I don't
Denver.
know.
Denver.
Yeah,
like
they're going to beat Denver. They're going to beat Jacksonville. They're going to beat Denver again.
You think they'll sweep them?
Fuck yeah.
Chargers, they'll beat Chargers.
They're going to beat the Chargers. They're going to beat the Raiders.
They'll beat Houston.
They're going to beat Indy. Philly's going to beat that ass again.
They will, for sure.
I'm saying it. The way I haven't seen anything that makes me think otherwise.
No.
Washington and Baltimore.
They'll beat Washington.
Baltimore's going to be a good one.
Baltimore will be a very good one.
I say Detroit wins.
I'll give it to Detroit.
I'll give Vegas and Chargers one because they're divisional.
Yeah, they won't sweep them probably.
And then they're going to beat the Giants and they'll beat Tennessee. I think so. Yeah.
Without a doubt. Unless...
I mean, something. I mean, maybe they get an upset in there somewhere or something, but I don't know. They are a well enough coached team. That's why they went 15-2 and were pretty much undefeated with their starters. I mean, is the idea that was like they're so well coached and so situationally good. They're like the Patriots.
They are even when Patty Mahomes doesn't have a great season.
You just got to make it close, and they'll find a way to win.
Yep. Like I said, Andy Reid's definitely probably the GOAT.
Yeah, I feel like Reid is definitely the modern day go over Belichick. Moving on, we've got the 11-6 Chargers. Justin Herbert. We've talked a little about him.
We have. Do you think he's that guy?
I'd like to think he is.
The thing I don't know about is whenever you see like people on like ESPN and you see all of like the quarterback rankings, they always have Justin Herbert like in the top 5.
He does seem not. Is that a
like it's
like now? Like right now, do you think people have him in the top 5? I don't think anymore.
I
Maybe a year ago.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think he is.
3,800 yards. I mean, 23 touchdowns, 3 INTs. He didn't turn the ball over a lot.
No, that's not.
But I mean, honestly, J.K. Dobbins led the team with 905 yards rushing. They had an 1,100 yard receiver in McConkey. Man, I don't want to say Justin Herbert's the problem, but I feel like has there been some narrative with him as like underperforming in big games?
There has been for sure. Like I said, I mean, he's been in the league. I'm not sure how long it has been.
As long as Tua, they're tied at the hip, so I want to say 6 years, 5 years. I mean, this might be his 6th or 7th season, something like that. This is going to be his 6th season coming up. Yeah.
So he's been in the league for 6 years, and I mean, this year was his first playoff one, wasn't it?
I think so.
And he obviously lost pretty big.
Yeah, and I look at the team. They lost Bosa. Is Asante Samuel Jr. really that great? I haven't heard his name since he was Asante Samuel's kid, and that's all I've ever heard.
I know.
So I don't really see him. I said, McConkey's not bad. He's pretty young. He got 1,100 yards. I'm not saying they don't got a guy there, but he's not big. He's like a little slot guy.
He is. And if you look at the rest of the receiving core, which McConkey is decent, but I mean, you have like Joshua Palmer, you have Quentin Johnston, like the receiving core is, I mean, DJ Chalk, who was like kind of okay like 6 years ago.
Yeah, Quentin Johnston had 711 yards. Shout out 7-Eleven. No ad revenue yet, but we'll get there. Yeah, and then it's just like, from there, it's just a bunch of guys. J.K. Dobbins was okay rushing, but, he averaged 4.6. He got 9 tutties, 900 yards on 195 carries. That sounds great, but ultimately, what does it get you at the end of the day? The Chargers. Here we are.
I mean, the Chargers...
They've got the Harbaugh. I can never remember if it's Jim or John. It doesn't matter, does it?
They're the same guy. It doesn't matter. Like,
who fucking cares?
At the end of the day,
who cares?
So they have the 20th pick, 22nd pick.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you try to replace Bosa, or do you
just go best pass rusher available, whoever it is?
Just go with it.
Unless he's like not worth the pick at all.
Or do you try to go receiver? Do you try to bolster your receiving core? Because once again, it is. I mean, like I said, McConkey's decent, but the rest of them, they're pretty ass.
Dude, I think what's their tight end situation like?
They picked up Tyler Conklin in free agency.
I think they draft a tight end.
Yeah, because Disley. They have Conklin now.
I think they draft a tight end. This tight end draft is actually kind of deep. It's one of the few positions that kind of is a little deep.
That and, like I said, edges.
Yeah, and it's like the tight end, they're weak in it. It is an offensive threat for Herbert. It helps him out a little. A great tight end, can be a quarterback's best friend, especially in the red zone.
100%.
Especially with the way the league is now. So what I want to say is, just as a fun pick, because you know what, I've always had a special place in my heart for the Chargers. I've loved the LaDainian Tomlinson Chargers. I never hated them.
No, never.
So what I would like to see, if I'm really thinking, they're to 20. Maybe it's a reach. I don't know where he's really projected to go, but Arroyo, the tight end from Miami, draft him. I use him all the time in college football. 25.
He's very good.
He's pretty good. He's like the fastest tight end, one of the fastest ones in the game. But I don't know. That's kind of what I think, though, is just draft a tight end. Maybe you do get an edge rusher. Is Joey Bosa that hard to replace? He only played, 4 games, 5 games last year? You already had to replace him.
That's true. He always is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would probably go with Siva, like I said, or tight end, like you said, something to help out.
Yeah, I like the idea of the tight end personally. You know what I do want to sit here and say is, as a little tidbit before we get into our all-time defense, I'm just thinking of the Chargers of old. Man, fucking Sean Merriman was good, bro.
He was good, yeah.
I don't care if he was on steroids.
I don't care even.
Dude, Sean Merriman was a fucking dog. I don't know. Though they're playing in Brazil this year. I got their schedule pulled up. They got it to be decided in Brazil.
Oh, well.
Okay. So I guess getting to it, let's bust these Charger schedules out. We don't know what to say about them. They're the Chargers. They had LaDainian Tomlinson, Phillip Rivers, Antonio Gates, Vincent Jackson. They had Antonio Cromartie, Sean Lights Out Merriman, Sean Phillips.
Yep.
They had Marlon McCree. I can name that whole team because I used to use them all the time in Madden. They had a fucking team and they couldn't win a Super Bowl. They're not winning one with this. Sorry, guys.
No.
Y'all ain't winning a Super Bowl. It's not happening. You're the Chiefs' fucking little do boy and just get used to it.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, let's get scheduled then. We got Dallas and Denver.
And it'll be Dallas. Denver's
going to whoop that ass.
Denver's going to win. Jacksonville's an L for sure.
KC beats them.
Yeah, Raiders will beat Raiders.
They'll split. I think they're going to split with everybody in the division, honestly.
Pretty
the Chiefs
much.
might sweep them, but, you never know. Houston, Indy.
Houston will probably beat them. They'll beat Indy, though, for sure.
You don't think Indy's that team?
No.
Nah,
I
don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm reaching. Philadelphia.
Beat 'em.
Washington.
Probably beat them.
Washington.
I don't know.
Like I said, we talked about Washington. I feel like they're like that mid-tier team. Like, they played so well last year. They, outplayed their potential.
Yeah.
So now we have, this false idea, and maybe we're going to get, this narrative, what's wrong with Jaden Daniels in Washington this year? And it's, nothing. They're actually the team that they kind of were.
Supposed to be.
Yeah, they just kind of outplayed themselves.
Yeah, it could be.
They'll
beat Pitt.
Yeah.
Vikings.
Rodgers might be going there.
That's true. And they DK and stuff like that.
Dude, if Rodgers goes to Pitt, I don't think he's going to do well, to be honest.
I don't think so. Yeah. The division's too hard with defenses.
Yeah. Minnesota's a good team.
We'll
see how JJ does.
That's going to be the question mark with them.
Miami. I'm taking Miami on that. I don't even feel like I'm being ridiculous. I know it's kind of but I'm taking Miami.
I'll go Miami too. Yeah.
Then closing out Giants and Tennessee.
They're going to beat both of them.
Yeah, I think so as well. So there you are, Charger fans. You should have let Sean Merriman do steroids. That's what I got to say about that.
That's what you should have done.
Alrighty, Broncos 10-7. Let's get into them. Sean Payton, the Dolphins dropped 70 on them boys a couple years ago.
Yep, 2 years ago, something like that.
It was a beautiful day.
Was.
They have since seemed to be a better team.
100%. Except Bo Nix kind of.
That play fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You remember him saying that?
Yeah.
That was the moment I was like, oh, Bo Nix?
Okay.
I was like, he just told Sean Payton that his play sucks.
Oh my God, that's crazy. But no, Bo Nix, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, 3,775 passing yards, rating
as a rookie.
3.32. That's pretty impressive.
That's fucking phenomenal as a rookie,
That
man.
is. So here's the question. Do you think Bo Nix will have a better second season than Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
I kind of did too, which is maybe
Yes.
a little strange because Jaden Daniels definitely had, I think, a better season than Bo Nix did. But
I don't know, man. Jaden Daniels' numbers, he had the more running numbers. So I got Bo Nix. Pull Jaden Daniels real quick. I got Bo Nix right up here for reference if you want to pull. Bo Nix rushing numbers, he had 430 yards and 6 touchdowns, or 4 touchdowns on the ground. So, but he also had a lot passing. Jaden Daniels' numbers, I saw his numbers when we did Washington. They were not that impressive.
actually, no. I mean, so
He won.
Jaden Daniels' number is 3,568 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He had a 100.1 rating.
Okay, I'm not going to lie, bro. It actually was a lot better than what I thought it was. So he was actually slightly, didn't have as many touchdowns or as many yards as Bo Nix, but he had less INTs and a slightly better rating. And then what was his rushing?
Let me see. I got to pull that up. They don't show that on here.
I'm just curious.
I would imagine his rushing is probably pretty...
He had a pretty good, I think he was their leading rusher, right? He had like 900 yards.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
I remember talking about that, yeah.
So,
I know he was their leading rusher now that I'm thinking about it. Bo Nix was 430. I don't know. I'm going to sit here and say it, though. The tape's out on Jaden Daniels in a season, off-season, and maybe the same could be said for Bo Nix. But I feel like as Jaden Daniels getting all the love he did, maybe there's a little more focus on him.
It could be, for sure. I don't know. For some reason, like I said, I do feel like Bo Nix might actually have the better second season than Jaden Daniels, for sure. For whatever reason, I just feel like he will.
No, he absolutely could. I'm curious, what...
So
I just sit there, like, Cortland Sutton was nice. He had like 1,000 yards last season. He was their leading rusher. Running back-wise, they don't know what they're doing. I mean, their leading rusher was 513 yards. Jamal, or I can't say his name, Williams. Javonte Williams, yeah. I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
Javonte Williams, I mean, yeah, he's
undersold and been overpaid, honestly, and running backs are underpaid.
The only thing he had a great season 2 years ago with Detroit, but just for touchdowns. He did. He had something crazy, like 20 touchdowns or something like that.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on the exact number, but it was because he was the goal line runner. So he got a lot of touchdowns, but his yards have never been phenomenal.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. I wonder... What's their draft pick? I don't have it in front of me. Let me pull it. Broncos draft
20.
20?
Running back is in need of those for sure. So I mean,
I don't know, boy. Y'all ain't getting nobody at 20.
That's another thing, like we're talking about with the Commanders.
Yeah.
Did they kind of overplay themselves? I mean, not that like you ever want to like
underplay. I get it. But did the Broncos overplay themselves though? I mean, they're in a tough division. They're third in the division at. What, 10-7? I mean, that
is true, actually. Yeah, that division is
short of the Raiders. That division's pretty good.
It is.
I mean,
like though.
I sit here and say I'm going to sit here, stack the defense. As much as it may seem weird to say, get another elite corner or something. Get an elite safety.
I would
get somebody that can play separate from Patrick Surtain.
I would say at 20, the only possible other pick would be, and once again, he'd have to fall a little bit, so we'd see, but Omar Hampton, the running back from North Carolina.
What about Skidaboo or whatever?
But he's not a first-round pickup.
Is he? I mean, at 20, who gives a shit anymore?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So. I mean, once again, you could always wait to the second round and pick up someone like him.
Maybe. I mean,
but
I'm curious about this draft, man. I just wonder what's going to really happen with it. You know, are we going to... Oh,
I don't know.
I'm saying it. They take a step back, man. They're going to take a step back this year. Watch. They're going to be like 7-10 this year.
Yeah. I
don't even know what their schedule is. They haven't even pulled it up yet. We're going to run through it, but
they could be, for sure. So, just a little side note. Do you think any of the rookie quarterbacks are going to take a step forward? Because so far, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, we're talking about them take a step back.
Who are our rookie quarterbacks from last year?
Drake
May, Bo Nix, Jaden Daniels, and
Penix, technically, but I assume he'll be started, but I don't think he's going to take a step forward.
No, this is kind of almost like... Well, he played some last year, but this is kind of really his real first
year. Yeah.
I think...
Drake May, maybe? Depending on what the... Because, Only because look at where
They got Diggs.
I'm only saying that because look where the Patriots are. They had, 3 wins, 4 wins.
Yeah.
So it would be hard to take a step back.
That's true as a team, but does he take a step forward as a player? Is what we're getting at. Are any of these quarterbacks... Now, you could take a step back as a team and as a player take a step forward.
For sure.
So I'm going to sit here and say, Bo Nix again. I did not come into this at all thinking I was a Bo Nix guy until just now, but I guess I have become one.
I like Bo Nix.
Bo Nix is, I think, going to be the one that actually takes a somewhat real step forward as a rookie quarterback. But again, I think maybe the team suffers. Maybe defensive woes, the league the way it is now. Like,
sure.
Maybe he gets into a couple shootouts and loses. It can happen really fast, like we talked about with Washington, where it's like, you all of a sudden, you think you're great, and you get on the wrong side of a couple close games, and you get embarrassed once or twice, and all of a sudden you're a 8-9 win team.
100%. Especially in the division too. Like I said,
yeah, it's a tough division.
Have to play the Chiefs twice. They have to play Denver twice.
And I know we didn't get on it.
Twice.
We did a little bit, but like I've said, I do, as much as I'm a little concerned about the Chiefs, I do wonder if we're going to sit here midway through next season and be like, oh shit, like the Chiefs are on that revenge tour kind of, because you can't tell me Mahomes is just sitting there drinking Coors Light, hanging out like he has every other offseason, right? The dude just got embarrassed.
That's what I'm saying. The way he lost the Super Bowl and
that hurts.
That has to hurt, like I said. And
yeah, I just wonder about it. I just don't think they take a huge step forward, and as much as a step back goes, is like, where are they going in the division? Where are they going as an organization? Is there anything even really there for them to take with this draft? And I just don't see it. And I wonder, maybe Bo Nix comes out, he gets 4,000 yards, he gets 30 touchdowns and throws 10 interceptions, and it's a nice season for him, but they still end up losing 9 games.
Yeah.
Which can happen in today's league all the time.
100%. I mean, like I said, look at Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about how, like, at least a year ago, he was like a top 5 quarterback, but still, every year they were like 8-8 or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I sit here, Justin Herbert only threw 3 interceptions last year. I hadn't looked at his stats until just then, and that kind of shocked me as a number. 3 interceptions as a full season starter. He threw 28 touchdowns.
No, that is very impressive, to be honest with you.
That's like, I didn't think I figured he'd have 7, 8, 10 of them.
I mean, you get 3 interceptions just off of like
one bad game
or receiver error.
Yeah, for real. Like a receiver runs a bad route and your guy breaks or
where he bobbles the ball.
And like I said, I mean, in today's NFL, one bad game, that's 3 interceptions. You have one bad day out there. There's quarterbacks throwing 3 of them things.
Exactly.
So, but getting to it, I got their schedule. Do you have anything else on them? Or
no, we'll move the schedule.
So we got Kansas City and Chargers. So
they're going to probably split both of those.
I'm going to sit here and say this is going to be one of the ones where this is why they're going to be a losing record team. I think Kansas City beats them twice.
Sweep them.
Yeah, and I think they'll split with the Chargers, though. And they're going to the Raiders are going to somehow win against them.
More than likely.
So then we got Jacksonville and Tennessee.
They'll beat them.
Yeah, then you got Dallas and the Giants. Watch Dallas win. Like I'm saying, this is why I feel like they're right. It's like unless Bo Nix comes out and has like this all-pro kind of season, I don't see them taking.
With Dallas, if Dak stays healthy,
Dallas is a decent team.
They're not a bad team.
No, they're not bad. Giants are the Giants. They're going to be better. They got Russ. They got Jameis.
I still think they'll beat the Giants.
Bro, Jameis is eating dubs.
I don't know, bro. I liked Bo Nix, so I think he can pull it off against the Giants. Because the Giants' defense is ass.
And then Cincinnati and Green Bay.
Cincinnati's one of those teams. No, they're going to beat Cincinnati.
No defense. They're losing. We've seen it. They're losing every game 94-97.
That's going to be like a 75.
That's one of the shootouts right there. Green Bay, again, I've talked about. Is Green Bay this like undercover sleeping giant that nobody's kind of paying attention to?
I actually really like Jordan Love, and I like the way Green Bay's offense is set up where they don't really have like a solidified
number one
receiver, which is kind of weird to say that I like that, but it's like you can just spread
the ball.
Kind of
nice. Yeah, it's kind of nice. Houston, Indy.
I'm gonna give it to Houston, and I think Indy will lose definitely.
We got Indy going 0-16 next year. I feel like on all these, we ain't picked them for a win. I think all
think we have.
Kansas City Kansas City Vegas. Yeah, we've already said the Chargers. We said
split it.
Yeah. So then the Jets, Philly, and Washington.
They'll beat the Jets. and they'll probably lose to both
Philly and Washington.
To be honest with you.
So I mean, what did we get them at? What do we got? We got. I'm saying 0-2. That's so. That we're splitting. That's 6. That's
4-2.
3-4. Yeah. Then I'm saying that they're gonna go like 8. They're gonna win like 8 games. I don't know. I don't know what I had them at here, but I'm saying they win 8 games.
They'll win. Yeah, they'll probably break even.
Yeah.
Or maybe get a little above it, above 500 or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. And guys, rounding it out, we've got the last but not least Raiders.
The Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders.
Mm.
The new and improved new look Raiders.
Yep, they got Geno.
They got Pete Carroll. They've got Brady.
They do.
Mark Davis has still got that same haircut.
He does. That's
Boy, you got all that money and can't get a better haircut.
a ball of haircut.
What is he? I guess if you got that much money, nobody will tell you that it's a bad haircut.
No.
But getting into it, let's talk about him. You know, Mason Crosby re-signed to a big old deal. He was the highest paid player for like a day.
24 hours.
Pretty much, you know. I mean,
then Miles Garrett came in, and then someone else came in and took Miles Garrett, but not a defense player.
Yeah, I can't even think of it right off the top. I'm pulling their stats right now is what I'm getting into. But basically, I remember they had Gardner last year. He's probably going to be their stat leader and stuff. But we're looking at him with Geno right now.
So yeah. So
and then we got to look at him with the idea. What do they have? The 6th pick.
yes.
So
They have options definitely.
Shador is where I want to go with this real quick. Do you think there's a lot of talk of Shador sliding? Do you think if he goes to the Raiders, do you think he slides past teams like that even with the talk of him sliding? Somebody's going to take the Raiders need a guy so bad, and they know Geno's stability. Geno would be great to mentor Shador. Like, you have to. That's why I question this whole talk of Shador sliding, because one of these teams like the Raiders at 6 or the Jags or somebody crazy, like maybe not the Jags, whichever Lawrence is probably going to hang on to him, but I'm just like, it just becomes one of those things where it's like, man, you know, do they all of a sudden just snatch up a sliding Shador?
I mean, the question is, with a high pick like that, you know, you're 6, do you skip on like Shador? Or do you like...
Well, who do you go with then? I mean, you got to assume all the big dogs are gone at that point. The only one you're really going to get a chance at is somebody that starts falling, like a Shador.
I don't know if they're going to go quarterback, though. They just picked up Geno. Do you think they think Geno's the answer?
No. They know Geno's not the answer. They know Geno's stability.
He is.
And that's what they need right now, because they're a bad team offensively.
They are.
100%. So I just sit there. I see... Even defense. I mean, it's their whole team. They got Brock Bowers.
He's a solid tight end. Possibly one of the best in the league right now, to be honest with you.
For real. Dude, his hairline's fucked.
Have
you ever seen his hairline? It's
yeah.
so bad, bro. It's like the worst thing ever. He's got a little comb over for all you guys paying attention on Madden right now.
He does. If
he brushed that shit back, it's bad though. But getting into it, Gardner Minshew led the team with 2,000 yards passing. Madison led the team with 420 yards rushing. Brock Bowers did have almost 1,200 yards, 1,194. They had a 1,000-yard receiver in Jacoby Myers as well. And other than that, there's not much to talk about. We can go defensively. Crosby had 7.5 sacks in 12 games played.
It's not that great. 12 games, I guess it's not terrible.
I guess when you're the only guy on the defense, too, it becomes like a Myles Garrett situation. Like, even
you're always going to get double teamed.
He's getting everything, you know. But,
So, with that being said, I mean, would you want to go defense then in the draft? I mean, obviously, a dual Carter won't be that 6.
No.
I can almost guarantee that. Unless something crazy happens.
He's not going to be there. There's no way.
I mean, you could go like a defensive tackle, though. You could go Mason Graham.
I was kind of just thinking DT,
like
just something to plug the middle, maybe.
Yeah.
What about, again, you know, as much as it sounds routine, running back? I mean, they got nobody. I mean, you got Geno, you got Brock Bowers, you got a 1,000-yard guy in Myers. The run game, you know, it's kind of like, do you just get somebody to take pressure off Geno?
I mean, they could certainly probably swoop Genty at 6, I'd imagine.
Imagine they just stole him at 6. Like, and everybody's like, oh my God, that'd be crazy high for a running back right now.
It would.
Do you think Genty's worth that? Let's say you're the Raiders and you really are, like, do you think Genty's really worth that pick, or do you trade back to 9 or 10 and then hope Genty's still there, which he probably will be?
Honestly, yeah. If I was them, unless
Let's say Shadur's sliding, and then you got somebody at like 9 or 10, 11 that wants Shadur, like a Dallas at 12. They're already talking about Genty getting Dallas at 12, or Dallas getting Genty at 12.
Yeah.
So what if like Dallas is like, yo, blockbuster trade, we'll give you Dak for your pick. Now Dak's in Oak. Guys, let me cook. Like, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, that would be crazy.
and then you got Geno. You send Geno there.
Yeah, do like a little
Geno to Dallas with the pick.
Swap, yeah. You could.
And then you snatch their second too or something with that idea. And then you take Genty. That's what I got. That's my best case scenario.
Unless, like I said, like your scouting team sees something that we don't, I would trade back if I was going to go after Gently. Sure, if you could find someone that really wanted to move up.
Yeah.
If you could get around 10, like 12, 10, something in that area, you could probably still get Genty, I would imagine.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
And if you can't get Genty at that point, you'd still be to swoop, like I said, like a DT, defensive tackle.
Do we think Genty's going to be this elite level back in the NFL? I know he had 2,500 yards. I know. But
I don't really know if he will be. I feel like he's worth a risk if you're like a mid first round pick maybe on him. Because if he does ball out, he's going to ball.
Is he worth the risk for
6? No, I don't.
For the Raiders, no.
I don't think at 6. No, I feel like at 6. If you're in like the top area of the first round of the draft, I feel like you've got to pick someone that you maybe don't know is going to be great, but like you have
a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, what if, I mean, a lot of indications, and obviously come draft day, we're going to definitely, the post-draft special is going to be exciting because we're going to actually know where the hell guys went, and it's going to be insane, it'll be a whole new topic. But Shadur, there's a lot of talk of him sliding, and it's like, bro, if he slides to 6, I think it's really hard-pressed to see the Raiders passing on him.
Now, of course, because he's quarterback.
Even with Geno.
I don't think he's going to slide this far.
To 6? You don't think there's some people talking about sliding out of the first.
No, he can slide to 6, sure. I'm just looking at this here, NFL.com or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They have him at like 18.
Shador?
Mm-hmm.
So again, do you think you trade back? Is that what you're trying to say?
I might, yeah. Be honest
with the hopes that he continues to slide.
Well, here's the only
or do you fuck yourself?
Here's the only thing. Who would want to trade up to you who wouldn't want to take like Shador? Like who else would someone trade up for if not a quarterback?
At 6?
Yeah.
To 6 to get that's not Shador.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. There's nobody.
No, because Abdul Carter's going to be gone. Travis Hunter's going to be gone.
Anybody who's anybody's gone already.
Cam Ward will be gone.
Unless, the diamond in the rough that we don't know right now or whatever. But, like, that's why I'm saying, like, if there is a trade, it would be like Dallas trading up to get Shador with the idea that they don't think he's going to slide all the way to 12. And then you do, like, a blockbuster trade where you give, like, the Raiders Dak. They get Geno and Shador, so they got stability for the time being in their quarterback of the future. And, you probably have to throw them your second as well to make that happen as Dallas.
For sure. I mean, like...
That's the only trade that even would make it. And I'm not saying that, but like, as I think... Who else have we seen that's past 6 that has been talked about getting Shador in any reasonable or realistic manner other than Dallas? Other than Dallas.
No one.
Anybody else that's been talked about is above 6.
They haven't. Yep. Because I don't think anyone like past 6.
No.
They don't really need a quarterback bad enough.
The only one, and it's not even that Dallas needs them. It's just that Dallas, the idea is Shador, Dallas, and then they're hoping maybe in a year they get primetime the coach, they get his dad there.
For sure.
Like, you're going in with the Jerry Jones, America's team, it's the show.
Yeah, because they'd want to make the blockbuster move.
That would be the only thing that would make any sense to me. And they always say the Cowboys in the offseason never do anything. This would be a way of Jerry Jones being like, see, we do stuff. It's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Unless the Cowboys, like we talked about before, are tanking for Arch.
You know what I wonder about that? As I've thought about it, and I know we talked about it, and now I just had a new thought as I was thinking of Jerry Jones. You think Jerry Jones wants to tank right now? He's pretty old. Do you think he even thinks he'll be... I mean, what? So you tank for Arch. What are you assuming? You get a rookie Super Bowl run? Or do you... It's probably still going to take 2 or 3 years. At best, more than likely. Best case scenario, it still takes 2 to 3 years.
For sure.
And realistically, probably 5 to 6.
Yeah.
most quarterbacks. I mean, how many quarterbacks are going on early runs like that? You don't get that many as great as it is.
Yeah, I mean, it is true. I mean,
so it's like, how old is Jerry Jones? He's fucking old. We don't have to look it up, but we all know he's old.
For sure. And thinking about it a little more in depth, I don't know, is Jerry Jones really the type of owner that would tank? I don't know if he is. Because
he doesn't want he has a weekly radio show that he goes on.
Saying.
Like, he talks to fans and shit on that show. Like, he hears, he gets the shit
the
sometimes.
Dallas Cowboys are super into, like, fan occlusion.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Jerry Jones, he goes on, like, a weekly Dallas sports talk show. Like, in the season, he goes on there, like, every week does like, a 30-minute, and they always take a couple calls. And he always, and yeah, I've heard some clips and stuff. He gets grilled a few times here and there where people wonder. Sure. I think they've kind of stopped on the calls, actually, now. But they just kind of get them on there for 30 minutes. I think the calls got a little much.
Like, we can't have this.
We can't have people talking about.
We can't be doing this.
But no, I mean, to the point, though, the Raiders. So let's say, they're 6. Shador is gone. Let's just say Shador is off the board, or they don't want him. They like Geno. Who do you take at 6? Do you take Genty? If you're taking Genty, do you think you trade back? At that case, 6 is a good pick, but it's like, this draft is so weak. Do you just take the best O lineman or something? Do you just?
I think at that point, like I said,
you take Will Campbell. I mean, he's like the best.
Will Campbell, you take Graham or something like that. Defensive tackle.
Yeah.
The thing is, I would say maybe go receiver because once again, I mean, they got Myers, they got Bowers. They could use more receiving depth for sure. But once again, without trading back, like, I don't really think there's any receiver in this draft that is I mean, I guess you could if that's what you need, but like, would it be warranted to take them at 6?
Not with the knowledge we have right now.
No.
I mean, and you know what? Halfway through the football season, there could be some super big splash guy that we're all like, oh man, he was the, there always is. So, but with our knowledge now, there's not.
No, I don't.
And think so. Honestly, what do you think of them? I mean, the Raiders aren't going anywhere. They're right where they're probably going to be for a little while.
For sure. I do not think Geno Smith coming in is going to
change their fortunes.
Improve them greatly. I mean, sure, maybe
they'll be a little better.
Maybe they win like 6 games, 7 games.
They
might not go, whatever, 4-12, whatever they were.
That's why I think they draft Shador. Even if Shador, let's say even Shador sits the whole first season, which would probably never happen, but let's just say it. Geno brings stability. If you don't take Shador, what the fuck is your plan? We all know you're not winning a Super Bowl with Geno.
So
you need something. You need something for the fans to look at and be like, all right, here's our plan.
Go. So here is the thing. I mean, in fairness, if Shador is still on the board, which I feel like there's a decent chance he will be.
I feel like there's a good chance, yeah.
Once again, as we talk about it, like who unless you trade back for someone else, who else would be worth picking?
That's and the Raiders, the way they are as a team, again, they're not going anywhere. They signed back Crosby to a record-breaking deal, at least what was, and still pretty much is. Within reason.
He got paid.
And they made him happy. The fans are happy they didn't lose him because he's kind of all they got, other than like Brock Bowers.
I feel like Crosby, he kind of like embodies
what the Raiders, and he loves them. He don't want to leave. He's there for the long haul, supposedly, which I believe. And I just, like I said, as an organization, I understand it's football, it's the process, the fans don't know everything, and it's just not always about, but it's like at some point it is entertainment, bro. And at some point, if fans ain't in the fucking stands, you got a real problem as a franchise. You're not making money. Like that, you trust me.
You gotta sell tickets.
If you ain't got fans, bro, and it's like you need to give the fans something to look for, something to be excited about, other than $100 million deal to Crosby. Yeah. And Shador is it.
True. I mean, if they, for whatever reason, if they do just draft like an offensive tackle or something like that, or a defensive line,
you're in for the same thing.
Do you run a risk of becoming like the Panthers? Like a team where like they can't sell tickets?
It's like, dude, like the Panthers, the Jags even, it's like some of these teams, it's like they might not be there in another 5 years. Like the Panthers probably will be. The Jags, though, I'm telling you, like there's already the Bucks and the Dolphins, and sometimes the Bucks and Dolphins have trouble selling. And the Bucks and Dolphins have been around a long time. They've won Super Bowls.
Yep.
The Jags can't sell for shit.
No.
Like
there's been talk about the Jags moving for
10
ever.
years now. Yeah.
Yeah. Forever.
So
talking about them going to England or something.
London. Yeah, for real. I remember that. Yeah. But getting to it, we'll wrap it up here. I got their schedule. Denver, Houston.
I think we said we were going to split.
Yeah, they're going to split with those. Indy, Kansas City. Kansas City's beating that ass. Indy.
I think we got to give it to Indy.
I'm giving Indy one.
Like I said, I feel like we always say they're going to lose. They got to win something.
They got to win something. Denver, Kansas City again, like we said, splitting. Chargers.
Chargers are going to
beat them. Yeah. Jags. I'm going to give the Jags that one.
Yeah,
man.
honestly, we'll go Jags.
Tennessee, Dallas.
They'll beat Tennessee.
Lose to Dallas. Giants, Cleveland. I'm saying both of them beat them. Giants and Cleveland beat them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Bears.
Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago will beat them.
All right, and then Chargers. We said split. New England.
I'll give it. They'll beat New England.
They're going to beat New England. I'm with that because I'm a Dolphin fan. Philly and Washington.
They're going to lose to both those teams.
Yeah.
Yeah. I said I thought they were going to go maybe 7 wins. I feel like I gave them once again 4 or 5 wins only. So
yeah,
I don't think I said they were going to step up maybe a tiny bit. Maybe not.
Maybe not. All right, guys. Well, that's it for the AFC West. So here we are, guys. A record-breaking deal for Crosby. This, that, and the other. Yep. There's been some defenses. Some things. We talked about it a little. What we've got this week going beyond the division is our all-time defense, guys. So the way this is going to work, what do you want to do? We'll go player for player, position for position.
Yep.
So the way we've got this pre-planned is we're going to name 14 players, guys. That's basically a full lineup of starters, 11 guys, and then 3 subs. A sub for the secondary, a sub for the linebacker, and a sub for the D-line.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty reasonable to have a sub-in guy. The way I'm going to work it is I'm just going to run a basic 4-3.
That's what I'm doing too. Just keep it simple.
Yep. If I want to get a little more specific just to add a little fun to it, if I could run the 4-3 the way I want to, I'm probably running a lot of Tampa 2.
For sure.
And I'm running a lot of high-pressure man blitz. I'm either running Tampa 2 high-pressure man blitz and maybe you sprinkle in a little cover 4 or something here or there just to mix it. I don't know. But I'm running so that's how I'm probably positioning my defense.
Yes.
Do you have anything you want to add before we get started, or?
No, just like I said, I'm going to go 4-3-2. Once again, it's just a basic defense.
Yeah, nice, simple enough. You can give everybody some love.
Once again, defensive line, I need 4 dudes up there because we got stopping the run. That's going to be my main pressure.
I'm telling you, is as we've seen time in and time out, getting pressure on the quarterback is the way to beat elite level offenses and elite level quarterbacks. And if you can do it with the 4 and drop your other guys,
you're golden.
If you've got 4 badasses,
that's all you need.
Dude, that's hard to beat. So I say let's start at the D line.
That's where I plan.
All right. So let's go ahead. You know what, Quill? You go first. Give me your starting right end.
All right, so my starting right end, and when we
DN changeable,
yeah, for sure. When we get into our subs, this is a little thing.
Mm-hmm.
My sub and my starters, they're very closely interchangeable. Case.
A lot of these guys this is all-time defense. Any of these guys could be argued interchangeable.
So I had to put my edge. Obviously, I had to give him his roses. Myles Garrett.
Okay, you got Myles. That's a good one.
Yep, like I said, won the old defensive play of the year, not obviously last year, but the year before. So, he's my dog. So we have to go with him.
Okay. So, I guess we'll just say right end, D end. I've had a lot of talk about this and a lot of thought. As much as I want to, I'm changing it. All right, I'm changing it now.
Yep. We thought it.
I did. I'm going Bruce Smith.
I thought about putting him too.
Bruce Smith is the all-time sack leader. 200 sacks. I mean, does he get remembered as much as maybe he should? He was on the Buffalo 4 Super Bowl teams that never won. Great player. I mean, you can't have the all-time sack leader on your defense. I don't know. You got. So that's my first defensive end. So go ahead and give me your other defensive end.
All right, my second defensive end, I had to go with him, Reggie White.
Reggie White.
Yep.
You know what? I like Reggie White.
198 sacks. I mean, 14 forced fumbles, 3 interceptions, which is pretty dope for an edge.
That is pretty impressive. I'm going to go Reggie White as well. I want to be a little different for a little, but
you have to go Reggie White.
Reggie White is like, if you don't, you're kind of looking foolish.
You are, for sure.
So here's where things might get a little, mixed up or different. But you go first. What's your first defensive tackle?
Defensive tackle, I have to go Aaron Donald. He's probably, arguably, one of the best to ever do it.
So is that your DT1 or your DT2? Where are you lining him up? Is he the one lining up over center?
Yes.
That's your DT1.
DT1, for sure.
Okay. All right, fair enough. I'm going to sit here and say my DT1, Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp. Okay.
Yeah, and I know maybe there could be some talk about Warren Sapp, but really, Warren Sapp in his prime is probably a top 5 defensive tackle of all time. And is just one of the nastiest, meanest motherfuckers.
Oh, sure.
So I just like the attitude. I'm going Warren Sapp, DT1. This is my defense, damn it.
Yep, that's a.
All right, DT2.
My DT2, I'm going Joe Green.
Mean Joe.
Mean Joe, baby. You have to go with him once again.
Okay, all right. I don't know if you're going to like my number 2.
Who's your number 2?
My DT2, Ndamukong Suh. Again, prime Ndamukong. You got to understand the defense I'm building here. That D-line that I just built is all attitude. You got Reggie White and Bruce Smith, the 2 all-time sack leaders on edge, and then you've got Warren Sapp and Ndamukong Suh, just 2 of the nastiest defensive tackles ever, right in the middle there.
That's fair.
I'm taking that. That's what I got. So, who's your sub D lineman? I guess we'll go that one next.
So my sub D lineman is.
And this is a hard one. He maybe got to be kind of versatile. He's got to play in and out.
I felt like I had to put him on here because I felt bad if I didn't put him. You have to have J.J. Watt because he's possibly, once again...
Dude, I talked to you about this where I was like, I think J.J. Watt is maybe the greatest... And I'm going to say it, ahead of Lawrence Taylor. I think J.J. Watt is the greatest defensive player maybe ever.
That's what I'm saying.
And I don't know if I have a spot for him on this defense.
I had to put him, like I said, I believe that too. He probably is one of the greatest defensive players.
I think he might be the greatest ever.
So I felt like if I didn't add him to this, once again, like I said, him and Myles Garrett, I'm going to definitely stick with Reggie White in my starting lineup for sure.
It's just too good.
Him and Myles, though, are very closely interchangeable.
Right.
I had to put Myles into starting because he's my boy, but
I get it.
JJ Watt's better.
So for my sub, and I wanted to give some love to my boy Jason Taylor, Dolphin D lineman, won Defensive Player of the Year, but he just couldn't make. I wanted to give it to him. My sub D lineman is Aaron Donald.
Okay.
Imagine Aaron Donald coming in when a guy gets tired. This is who you got to deal with now that our main guy's tired.
Yeah, he's Aaron Donald.
That's what I got. So that's my D line. I got Bruce Smith, Reggie White, Warren Sapp, Ndamukong Suh, and then Aaron Donald coming in when guys get tired.
That's the same lineup. All right. So do you want to go? Let's move it back. Go.
Linebackers. Yep. Right. Where do you want to start? Inside or outside? Where do you want to go?
I'm gonna go inside.
All right. So our middle linebacker.
My inside linebacker, Ray Lewis.
Ray Lewis.
Yep.
I'm gonna take. I want to be a little different, but I'm taking Ray.
Yeah.
I'm taking Ray
that
Lewis.
That man over the middle, insane.
Exactly. So then, who as your right outside?
Right, we're gonna go Lawrence Taylor.
It's a good pick, man. That's a really good pick. So I did, like I said, I that's why I gave a little specificity to like the type of like system I was running as well.
Yeah.
Derek Brooks.
Okay.
Probably the best coverage linebacker of all time.
Okay.
Like for real, and if we're running Tampa 2, he's kind of what made the Tampa 2 work. That was his Monty Kiffin and all them and everybody made it, but like he was like one of the main players that could make that work as good as it did.
That's fair.
So then your left outside linebacker.
I'm going DeMarcus Ware.
DeMarcus Ware as an outside backer?
Yep.
Even though he's kind of almost like an edge rusher, he's like a stand-up rusher more than anything. Okay.
He's gonna be my outside. Like I said, we're going heavy to stop the run, so I want some big body.
All right. So here's like a controversial one for me because he was actually a middle linebacker. I'm taking Urlacher. I think Urlacher would play outside great. So I'm going with Brian Urlacher. That's who I got outside. And then who's your sub?
My sub is Brian Urlacher.
Is it?
Yes.
Okay. My sub, I'm giving a little love to the Dolphins. Zach Thomas.
Yep, I knew it would be.
He's 5'11", really like the NFL game. He's like 5'10". Like he's not a very and played in a dog era, like Hall of Fame backer. You gotta give it. So all right, then let's start secondary. Who's your? Should we?
You want to go safeties?
I was gonna say, how do you want to work this? Do you want to go safeties first, or do you want to go corners? Do you want to go back to corner one first, or do you want to kind of count down to corner one in our secondary on who your number one corner is? Just I don't know. Is there?
Let's go safeties and then come back.
All right. So who's your safeties? Let's go strong safety first.
My strong safety. I gotta go Ed Reed.
Is he a strong safety?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was a free safety. I'm almost positive he was a free safety. Might have him mixed up.
I might. Maybe, yeah. It could be.
Okay. Because I was going to go Polamalu.
That's okay. Yeah, that's who I'll go.
And then I'm going Ed Reed, strong free safety.
That's my exact line.
Okay, so
I just had him
wherever they're, because I'm, so, and then, free safety, Reed. And then, all right, let's do it. I'm going to go CB2. Who's your cornerback 2?
My cornerback 2 is going to be Darrelle Revis.
Darrelle Revis.
Yep.
That's a good one.
Cornerback 2.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I'm going Champ Bailey.
Champ Bailey?
As my cornerback number 2.
I expect it.
And now, your CB1.
You know who it's got to be.
You going primetime?
The man, the myth, the legend. Deion Sanders, baby.
Okay. I've got a little controversy.
Okay.
As my cornerback 1. I am going. And I don't know if you'll know who this is. I don't know. Darrell Green. Do you know who Darrell Green is?
I've heard of him, but I don't really know his.
He might be, and Deion maybe, I don't know. Darrell Green might be the fastest player in NFL history. And he played for the Washington Redskins in the 80s. And he played until his mid-40s. And he was running a 4.2 in his 40s. Okay. And he's a Hall of Fame corner.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I mean, Darrell Green was kind of like Deion before there was Deion.
Deion.
Yeah, in a way. He wasn't quite as, loud, talky. He was a different era, but, the same kind of,
energy,
just speed, chase you down. I'm going Darrell Green. And then your sub?
My sub is, Rondé Barber.
Yeah?
Yep, that's my sub.
My sub's primetime.
Primetime? Okay. I expect it. Yeah, you got to have him in there for sure.
Yeah. So, okay, just for reference here, let's go through it. I've got my number 1. All right, so D-line, Bruce Smith, Reggie White, Sapp, Ndamukong Suh with Aaron Donald. Who do you got?
I have Edge, Myles Garrett, Reggie White, tackle Aaron Donald, Joe Green.
Okay.
Joe Mean Green.
Linebackers, I've got Ray Lewis inside, Derek Brooks right, Urlacher left, and then Zach Thomas subbing in.
I got Ray Lewis in the middle. I got Lawrence Taylor and DeMarcus Ware on the outside, and then I got Vino Urlacher as my sub.
Nice. And then obviously we got Polamalu and Reed at safeties.
Yep.
I've got Champ Bailey and Darrell Green with primetime subbing in.
Yep. Deion and Darrelle Revis.
Nice.
With Rondé Barber.
Nice.
Sub.
Nice.
Solid defense.
Guys, I gotta say that. I mean, how good do you think? Do you think that's an unscorable defense?
Unless we go and build the ultimate offense, I feel like you're not scoring very much on my boys.
No, probably not. Right?
No, for sure not.
I would. I just think the D line. I know maybe there's better guys historically. I'm not sure. But I stand on the Warren Sapp, Ndamukong Suh. I was thinking heavily about who I'd have inside, and I was like, Aaron Donald's great, and I was like, that's why I had him as a sub. But man, you just have 2 of the nastiest, dirtiest, just monstrous guys ever.
In fairness, Aaron Donald. I think Aaron Donald is with stat wise, I think he is probably the best.
For sure, he's a monster.
For sure.
But I just don't know. Was Aaron Donald? I guess maybe he did. I mean, how would he not have the attitude? But I'm just I don't feel like he had the attitude Ndamukong Suh had. That dude stomped on a quarterback's head.
You're looking for that straight.
I just want mean, nasty guys down there. But guys, that's what we got for you. So, do you agree? Do you disagree? What's your all-time defense? Let us know in the comments. But for now, Sideline Society, please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Rich.
I'm Quill.
we'll see you next time. We've got the NFC West,
NFC West.
and that'll be wrapping up the NFC West,
NFC West.
and that'll be wrapping up the divisions.
It will be. Then we can get
So
into.
we'll have to figure some shit out because
We'll still have a couple weeks until the draft.
Yeah,
so.
we will. But until then, guys, take it easy. We'll see you.
We'll catch you around.